Welcome to the Top 200 podcast with your host, Herschel Fawn.
What's up everybody, it's Herschel Fawn from High School Top 200 and this is the Monday Morning Movie. Welcome back everybody, welcome back to this new episode. If you're not actively following and this is your first time, welcome. If you're going to follow me on Facebook at High School Top 200. On Instagram it's HS or at the real HS Top 200, and on I guess on TikTok it's at HS Top 200 as well. But yeah, if you don't follow me, go into all those socials, follow me on those socials. I'm on there pretty much all the time. I run them myself. Also, if you want to jump on and see all the rankings are online on my website, hstop200.com. That's a $5 subscription. Please save one of your coffees of the day and subscribe to my website, which is $5 for the month. It's got all the information that you want to see from first team rugby around the country, and just a lot of promotional players and promotion of first team high school rugby here in New Zealand, because that's what I do. I'm here for promotion. I'm here as an opinion based to promote not just like the players, but also the schools and the rugby programs and the coaches that are here doing such hard work week in, week out, and they don't really get a lot of attention at all. So that's what I'm here for. I'm here for I'm always here for the player, making sure the player is always first and they get as many opportunities as they can possible. And so sign up to subscribe to hstop200.com and have a look. Like I said, it's all opinion based. Come back and let me know what you think. Send me a message, give me a call, give me a text, whatever, drop them DMs. But this is all about first team rugby. It's all about the players, it's always about the kids first. And yet just another strong week of first team rugby. Obviously that we, to start off the week, I wanted to talk a bit about player safety. And I think this is something that's kind of it's talked about, but I don't think it's put into like a real reality thing. It's not really stressed how real it can be, because I think player safety in the way that if there's a player that they're injured, right? And I obviously I know myself, because being a player myself, the first thing that you don't want to show is that something hurt, because you don't want to look like you're soft. But then you don't want to look like you're hurt also, because you don't want to get taken out of the game. And most of the time, a player's always going to say that they're not bad unless they're unconscious or it's broken, and you can obviously see that it's broken, right? But for me, when player safety comes into it, I look at it from the side of as the grown-up, whether you're the parent or you're the coach, or I feel like if that kid's gonna hobble around, or if he's obviously hurt, I think stuff the game, to be honest. I think stuff like you'll win for the day. I look at it as get this kid off before he makes this worse. Before he makes that injury worse. I don't look at the side of it where it's really romanticized, wow, look how You know, like all these stories was like he played with a broken rib for the whole game and they ended up winning and all that kind of stuff, you know, blah blah blah, all that kind of stuff that, you know, we like to say that's like, fuck, that must have been pretty cool, what a tough guy, whatever. You know, I don't really care about that side of it, you know, like I don't really care about how that story looks or how that story goes in terms of, especially first 15 level or like under 15s, under 16s, you know, like if that kid is hurt, I feel like as a coach you should just go, bro, this is not in your hands, man. You're off the field. Whether it's like a strained hamstring or you know, a calf muscle or a shoulder or, you know, things like that, where even like the kid is obviously going to say, nah, let me stay on the field, because they're not gonna. First, they don't want to look like the pussies on the field. That's number one. That's just what they don't want us to be seen as. And so the kid's never going to want to come off. The kid is always going to think like, nah, I can play through this, which they can probably do that. But, and I think this is where the adults come into it, where the coaches and parents come into it, is that we, through experience of life, we know how bad something can end up if we don't stop it right there and then. And that's the way I feel like we as adults, coaches and parents should make the call for the kid and take it out of the kid's hands and go, no, you're not making this decision, bro. You're coming off the court, you're coming off the field. It's not about this now. It's not about what this game means. It's about what this future injury could be. And us parents and older folk know a few people that still have the same bad knee problems, that say that still have the same back problems, that still have the same wrist problems, that still have the same shoulder problems, that have neck problems, that still have headaches, based on stuff that we've done when we were younger, knowing that we should have probably stopped playing that game. Because most of the time that game's only special and historic in the moment. You know, a year or two later, you don't remember that game. You know, especially if it's not a finals, you know, so what, to be honest. And even sometimes on finals, like, it's like, I would still rather take the kid off. And I've seen so many cases in the past where even when a team has been up by a few and you're on the losing side and the kid just wants to stay on just because he wants to play, it's just like, bro, get him off, man. This is where the teachable moment comes into it. You got to get your story right. You've got to get you know, you learn to fight another day kind of speech come on. So you can tell the kid is like, bro, there's more to it than just this game, bro. Got a whole season left. You know, you got your whole lifetime to go to play these kind of games. Like this one game that we're playing on Saturday on the 13th of March does not matter in your whole future. You know, it's like but when you see like a kid sort of hobble around and go down every other play, and I mean, like, it happened happened on Saturday. That's why I want to talk about it, because like, to me it's just like, nah, like, and if the kid wants to act like, you know, this is his, like, oh, this is his thing where he always acts like he's hurt but he's really not. It's like, okay, then teach the kid a lesson and go, well, if you're going to act like this, I'm going to pull you off. Even though that wasn't the case on Saturday, because he actually looked like he was really hurt. He looked like he was hurt the first time he got hurt. Take him off, man. Take them off. Like, don't let them play through this pain and you know, tear something. Don't let them get hurt in a meaningless game. I don't care about this. Oh, it's going to save the season. I was like, but you saved that boy's leg. I've seen it so many times. And I mean, like, yeah, I've been watching, you know, rugby every Saturday for the last 10 years, and, you know, been to hundreds of games. But I mean, it happens a lot more than you think, you know, like it happens a lot more than you'd like to see. And you'd like to see, and the thing is that I've seen people, you know, cut it short for kids and go, no, son, get off the field. I've seen coaches make the right move and go, no, you're not going to do this. You know, this is not we're not in a movie, mate. There's some real, you know, bad repercussions later on if you stay on the field. And I think that as adults we need to take this out of our kids' hands and take that decision and you know, just make that decision for them. Go, no. Because that kid in his mind is probably just really in pain. He doesn't want to say he's quitting. It's like, no, you're not saying you're quitting, bro. I'm telling you you're quitting. As your coach is like, I'm telling you you're quitting. Get off the field. Come to the side. Let's take care of this. Let's see how long you have to sit out for. Especially when you have subs on the bench, man. I get it. He's probably one of your best players, but I just don't feel like. I don't feel like they should be pushed that much to be in that position. You know, like, yeah, and I feel real sorry for them. And for all kids that get put in those positions, you know. But I mean, like, it's not just teachable moments just in a rugby sense. It's like, yeah, even some life stuff you can teach it from a young age by just being the example and saying, hey, get off the field, bro. Don't worry about this. The boys are there, they can take care of it. You did your part until you got hurt. Now let somebody else take over and do their part. We've got subs for a reason. You know, we've got impact bench for a reason, or impact, or whatever you want to call it now. All the kids that are sitting on the bench, or players that are on the bench. They're there for a reason, you know. I just don't like the look of it, you know. I just don't like, you know, what it can do to kids, and what it can do to, like, sort of even the psyche of it as well. And I thought I'd bring that up. I wanted to talk about it. It doesn't sit right with me. It doesn't sit right with me all the time. So that was one thing I wanted to really talk about. Also, like, I think we need to give shout outs to the referees a lot more, you know. And I think we got to stand up for referees a lot more too. I mean, in the past, I've had to go at referees, especially the ones here in Waikato. But on the field at the time, like, I think that there's like, they should be given that, or shown that kind of respect as well. I think that's one of those things that we should do is, like, at the games, is like really, you know, really thank them for their time and for the sacrifices that they put in as well, like, to, you know, to be there as well. So, you know, and I saw some parents stand up for the referee on Saturday's games for the opposing, you know, the team that lost, and some, you know, supporters were getting at the referee and stuff like that, and then, you know, the team that lost stand up for the ref and have a go at the supporters too, and, you know, it's like, because they really need that kind of stuff, you know. And for me, I'm all for like refs just walking off the field and just saying, bro, if you're gonna keep talking, bro, I'm just gonna go. Like, I'm all for that. Like, yeah, relieve ref. Like, even me, like someone who travels so far, if I had to drive down to, you know, Palmy or to, like, New Plymouth, or drive up north or something just to watch a game, and then I saw a ref getting abused, and he or she just goes, well, I'm not going to take this, and just leaves halfway through the first quarter or first half, for me, I was like, yeah, bro, just walk off, bro. You don't need to take this. You know, so like I'm all for that kind of stuff, and I think refs need a lot more respect in some of those kind of in that situation. But yeah, some good games on Saturday. Even before that, I mean, like Silverstream and Wellington game. Oh, actually, the St Andrews and Timaru game was on Monday. Timaru game was on Monday. And I think ended the way that it did. I mean, like, where St Andrews won, you know, came off winning 29-0. I think we've got to remember that Timaru is still a new team, you know. They're still a new team, not traditional-wise because they've freaking been around for years, but the age of it, like they had a bunch of guys leave last year, and so they got some new blood that they're trying to get in there, and I think it's important that, you know, they're given some time, I guess, and they're going to need a few years to sort of, like next year I'll be a bit more, you know, I'll be watching them a bit more with, you know, a lot more expectation for next year for the players that they have coming back. Lindisfarne and Whangarei College, they played on Tuesday, which was really interesting. Because Whangarei came off that loss against Francis Douglas, 14-20, 22, something like that, the week before, last week's game. And then they went to Lindisfarne and played Lindisfarne and lost again, but I kind of have a feeling that Whangarei Collegiate played better against Lindisfarne. Because Lindisfarne is just like really, really fast-paced kind of team. They really know how to, I guess, use every opportunity that they have to like move the ball. Every time they got the ball, they'll do something with it. They're never going to sit back and wait. They're never going to, you know, sort of leave it in the hands of the opposition to do it. They're just gonna go and play. You know, they're just going to go and play, and they're just going to do their thing. And I think in this game, Perez, who's usually the number 8, Perez Marlaw, he was playing, I think, in second 5 or centre, I think it was, because they had, I think Noah Rogers went to fullback, and Te Aorangi Pene went to first 5, who's usually the fullback, and they moved some stuff around. Just because of injuries, they moved some stuff around, but it seems to be like it's working. But Lindisfarne is a fast-paced team. They really play at a really high level. So when you play them, I think you have to give them. Again, I think you have to be more watchful of how the team moves, because once they know they got a penalty, most likely they're just going to run it. And it's about organising on the fly and organising as you sort of go along. And I think Whangarei did really good in that regards of being able to stay ready all the time. Because, you know, guys like Leo Kirkland, like he's only year 11, but man, this dude's fast. A real like dynamic kind of player down on the wing. And I think if you like give him too much work, you know, too much space to work with and too much time and all that kind of stuff, it's not going to work out well for you, because even though you may make that tackle when you're caught off guard and then you make that tackle, Leo's always going to find someone like Reed Palmer or like I said, Noah Rogers or Hunter Andrew or someone like that. They're always going to be there. Or like Charlie, what's his name, the open side Charlie. Sorry, I'm forgetting your last name. But anyways, they're always that kind of team. So even if they make that break, they get caught, they still have all the players are going to be all right there, ready and all in sync because they all know that this is going to happen. Lindisfarne scoring 38 points is not really a surprise, but you know, that fight back from Whangarei Collegiate scoring 29, you know, being able to sort of stick up for themselves and keep up to the pace, you know. Even though they lost, I still think it was like they still played a really good game within themselves. So, but Lindisfarne is a team to watch, and next year is going to be dangerous with that team, I think, because yes, they lose out Hunter Andrew, but I think they're going to have some good players, you know, falling in line and getting in there and helping out, because next year to me, Noah Rogers is going to be one of the players to watch. You know, him and obviously Leo Kirkland and, you know, Te Awarangi Penny will probably be the other guy that I don't know if Te Awarangi is better at first five or if he's better at fullback. Because I like watching him with that space. I like watching with that space, with that time. You know, either, you know, picking it out where he wants to kick the ball downfield, where he wants to find the grass a bit, and either that or running into space. Like, both options for me when you watch him play. Both of them mean, like, such a mean player. Even in Wellington, like watching that Wellington game. So Wellington and Silverstream played on Wednesday as well. And Silverstream definitely lost their cool and lost a little bit of discipline. I still think Wellington was better on the day, but there were some moments where Silverstream didn't really help themselves, you know, and I feel like in those moments, leadership has to prevail in those moments. Leadership has to come from the older boys, come from the captain, come from the, you know, the vice or whatever your senior group is, and that has to prevail in the day, you know, like they have to be the ones that you have to look to calm everything down. And you can't be the problem. Like leaders, you can't be the problem. That's why you're supposed to be leaders. But the discipline has to, you know, in those moments you have to pick your moments when you kind of, because I think some kids, they don't know, so many players don't know, like it's all right to snap off a bit, get a bit feisty, you know, but picking your time is also crucial too, you know. Especially don't do it when you've got momentum, that you do something stupid then the ball gets turned over, or it ends up being so overdone that like you end up losing the ball yourself, like things like that, because it can really kill your momentum of your team. And I think and Silverstream did have that same problem where they got just too into it that much, you know. And I think, you know, it was playing in front of their home crowd, in front of their own boys and mates from school, and you know, you don't want to get done at home, but it's just that tight of a game. I mean, 24-27 to Wellington College is a tight game. But Silverstream was playing really good. Like, I didn't think they were that bad, you know, because a good team like Wellington is going to distract you and disrupt a lot of things that you're trying to do, because, I mean, they're a good side as well. So those things are normally going to happen anyway. But Silverstream as well to try and, I guess, try and come back in a way that's stronger and more meaningful to get yourself that momentum. And they did have the momentum. That's why, like, they definitely, to me, I think they definitely let themselves down, this side down as a team, because they had that lead that they wanted. They had that 24 points and space to breathe, and they started off the second half really, really strong, straight with a try almost straight away. And I think that's where it started from. The discipline side of it started falling apart because they were so confident in what they were doing and how the momentum had stayed with them, and that the momentum was living with them in that moment. Now, when it is in that moment and you do have that momentum in the tight games, that's when you start trying to go, okay, yeah, well, let's celebrate those little wins that we have, but let's not go overboard where it becomes silly that we end up giving away stupid, real stupid penalties. And that's kind of what happened in the end. It started getting really, Wellington came back with their own tries, and then it just ended up being one mistake after the other, and they just couldn't keep up. Wellington just took over from there and then won it right in the last seconds. Epic game. It's going to be one that them as players are going to remember. Wellington for a great reason, Silverstream for the other reason, but it's not the last game of this season. It's I forgot the cup that they were paying for too. What a shield, but there's a trophy involved. Looks great in the cabinet at the end of the season for the team photos and stuff, but win that Wellington title. I think that's the key point, is to win the title at the end of the year, try and advance to the national championship. You try and represent the Hurricanes, which I know Silverstream is in that. That's what they play for every single year, because they've been at the top of the game so much in the Wellington competition. Their sights are always, let's win the Wellington and then let's go on to Hurricanes and try and get there. So Silverstream's always been that strong. Wellington are new to that, but they're going to have to build that culture of getting that far all the time and making it, making that a tradition again to what Wellington College used to be like in terms of making, there's national competitions and stuff. I've seen a bit. St. Pat's Town played St. John's, and 57-7. St. Pat's Town was just too strong. But they've been playing so consistently good over the past few weeks. Because even that one against, obviously they beat Scots, and that was, and I saw the game too. Like when I watched the game, it was so good of how they pretty much just outmuscled them. And really, I think we've got to remember that St. Pat's Town, they've got 11 year 11s in their team. 2 year 13s, I think it is, and then a few year 12s. So these year 11 boys are going to definitely grow from this, and they're definitely going to find out how to fight in those hard games as year 11s. They're going to learn that early, and then hopefully they take it through to next year and on to year 13, where I'm guessing that's what their whole goal is to be Wellington champs in 2 years. Maybe 1 year, but in 2 years definitely. And so all the stuff that they're learning now as year 11s and what they've taken on as year 11s is going to be real important when it comes down to it in the next 2 years. But them beating Scots last week, and even losing to St. Bede's as well in that same week, they could actually won that game. So it's not like they were out of the range, but of that game. But they've probably been one of the most impressive teams within the last 4 games. I guess I would pick them as being one of the most impressive teams. Just how the coaching staff has done it with a few different players, different rotations on their front row, having a really good loose trio right now. I like the fact that the loose trio is able to be upfront and physical, even at sort of a young age, because that's what they are. They are kind of young, and even with St. John's, where they had Patrick Mong is one of those big, massive, running number 8s, and he's just one of those kind of guys that's hard to put down. I think that they did it. They were actually really, really. They actually really controlled it. They controlled it really well, being able to make sure that they weren't gaining too many grounds on their runs and momentums were broken down and all that kind of stuff. So, from with the loose trio with Emilio Bell, Nelson has been great at number 6. Even Ethan Lepeau, when he comes on, and they have Jeremy Perez too as those 4 that they sort of rotate, has been really good. Riley Bracewell, Josias, I think his name is Kalolo, and then Remy Fitzmanuel was the other one that they rotate in the locks as well. And then all of them being able to come on straight away after come onto the field and then keep that same momentum that they've got going through. The toughness is there, the athleticism is there, the fitness is there, the experience is being worked on as they play, and so all that kind of thing is going to pay off in the long run. And yeah, it's been really really good watching these fellas grow a lot more, and seeing them I guess just get better and better as they go along, because I guess it's just not easy. It's not the easiest thing to just jump into first 15 from under 15 level and just be playing great straight away. It's not the easiest thing to do, and for these boys to have 11 year 11s in the team, something like that, they got 10 or 11, 9, 10, 11, something like that. But then for them to sort of snap onto that straight away, win some big games, lose some big games at the same time, but also then learn from it. That's the kind of thing I like from it too. I think it's just going to be one of those learning things that you have to take week by week and just go, okay, let's just let them learn for a bit. Even Anadu at halfback was the other one. It's just just let them learn. Max Reynolds, who's been playing great, because Max has been at first 5 and is at halfback as well. It's just let them learn a bit, let them get through this, and clean it up in the meetings. Just clean it up in the meetings when you watch the games. Clean it up when it comes down to film watching and going over the footage of your sets and making sure that you're attacking in the right frames and in the right parts of the field, and zoning out where you want to be, and making sure you're picking the places on the field when you want to attack, and just adjust it as you go along. But make sure that they know these things and put all that information in their head, and whether they are able to pick it up at the time or not, that's up to the player. But as long as you're giving them that information, I think it's great. And I think St. Pat's Town is at learning that right now, and it seems to be working. It seems to really be working. Winded up, I put up a big score against Tawa, 38-19, which was not really the score that I was expecting to see, because I think those two teams are a lot more closer in score than what that scoreline says. But going over to Winded Up is always a challenge for every team. I've always known that. It's always, when you go and play them in their home ground, it's almost like another team. It's almost like a different kind of team. But that's just how it goes. That's just how things are. Westlake and Rangitoto, obviously a close game at 10-3. A few changes to Westlake, but 10-3 was as a really, really tight game, and oof, I don't know. I haven't seen it. I haven't seen the game yet. I hope I'm able to get it, but Westlake is pushing it. They're really pushing it with their team selections, and I hope they don't try it too much. I do understand finding out who can play who can handle that level, all that kind of stuff. But to be a bit careful, I think. I mean, they do have some injuries, but I mean, you don't want to happen again at Tauranga what happened at Tauranga, And I understand there were players missing, but they wouldn't have been able to make the points up, that 41 points. So, I don't know. I hope Westlake are not pushing it too much and that they get back to winning ways and then doing it little by little like there. Yeah, I don't want to make this one too long because I always make these so long and I want to take up most of you guys' days. But I went to Megs in Liston. Megs in Liston. That was the game that I chose to go up to in Auckland. I was thinking about going to Kelston and Botany Downs because I was only up at Massey anyway, so I was thinking, okay. But I'll talk about Massey. That game, Whangarei scoring for 2 tries almost within 14 minutes. And what looked like it was going to be a runaway ended up turning into just such a long, drawn out try for try, score for score, tackle for tackle game, and it was just so close with both teams really putting in that work against each other, and they it really could have gone either way because it came down right to the end. It came down right to the last, and even though Massey scored on full time, and that's how the score ended up. Was it 24-27 or something like that? But Massey was ahead for a little bit, even though Whangarei scored 2 tries real early, and that's kind of where the I guess. The anxiety of it came from because when you looked at it as how they were going, Jack Saunders on Saturday to me was their best player. I don't know why they took him off too. I don't know why they took him off. I would have left him on there. But him, Ben Love, is it Kwanheta? I think that's how you say his name. Those 3, Ben Love as well. I like the way that he was playing. Ben made some mistakes. That's not really, Or was it Ben? I think he was, doesn't it? Let me see. Let me bring up the rosters before that day, just in case. Because it was Ben. You can tell by his hair. Yeah, it was Ben. But he made some mistakes. Had a really good strong starting first 20, and then even when Massey was firing back too, because both midfielders for both teams were so good. Ben and Kwan going against 2 Samoan boys from Massey. I can't remember their names right now, but it was real heavy for both of those sides, and Whangarei were making breaks, and then Massey were making breaks, but they're all done in the midfield, and all big crucial breaks too. And because they had Clyde out there as a number 8, he was always out there in their midfield as well. Made it, just watching it was like, man, this is the way that they played. Because I talked about them a few weeks ago. It's like, yeah, we want to see more of that, but we want to see that intensity stay. I was like a real big fan of Boston Stanway and Brock Reed. I thought those two played massive on Saturday, and they just did all the ugly work, like they did all the stuff that most players just don't want to do. And I felt like those two were the ones that kind of won it on the day, because they made those extra tackles and they made those extra leaps. They put on, they drove just every extra hard. And I mean, Reef might have been injured and he came on in the second half, but Reef, Ty and Brock to me is that loose forward trio. Mason played good, but I still think, and I've said this from the beginning, I think Reef should be at open side, and Reef should just be that tackle machine all day, and let Brock and Ty take care of that big hit up and those big running meters and stuff like that. Because like you could see even when Reef got on the field how different it was, and like he scored that mean try that they got that runaway, but I think his true value comes in terms of leadership, him getting out there making tackles and just making tackles. It's purely just his defense, and it would have been cool to see as well, like for whatever reason why he was off, I don't know, but Dylan Dixon at this, the hooker, I thought he played massive too. I thought he had a real mean game. And it was a clean game, but it was just I think it's just frustrating. Sometimes I even in myself, like I have these expectations for teams because I look at them from week to week and then I go, oh, that's what they're capable of doing, and when they don't, yeah, it frustrates me, but I still have the mind of understanding that these are just kids. But when it comes to me, like, because I've got a different my idea and mindset when I'm watching them in terms of like, cool, if they can win this game and put a bit more points on it, and the rankings go up and then they get to move up, because they start looking better as a team, they start putting things together. And I know that kids just think it's their parents and their friends on the sideline or whatever, but there's other people that are watching. That's why some of these like some of these games on YouTube are getting a few thousand all the time watching these games, because there's other people out there that love watching them. And like even Whangarei, like even Massey is like, I think if Massey was if these guys were like putting their games out on YouTube and stuff like that, and you turn people's heads and attentions, like a lot of people want to watch Massey as well, and would want to watch, especially definitely Whangarei as well, because I know that they've got a really strong alumni, strong following as well. And like I know that there's heaps of people out there that would really want to watch these games and watch everybody's games. It's not just these bigger schools, but I mean, like even with Massey, like Massey's got such a strong following too. But I mean, like if you look at their players and sort of where they've come from, I think it's, I mean, if you take, like for instance, like Jagger, who's their hooker, and I remember him from last year because I think he used to play blindside too, but he's such a good player, and he's one of those guys where I think if overseas fellas see him, they'll want him straight away. Even Tavali is like another one who was playing lock, I think if guys saw him too, they'll go, and like if Tavale was on my team, like, I'd look at him as a blindside, or even as a number 8. And sometimes, in a way, I look at that team and I go, in my mind, I go, oh, I think you guys have maybe selection problems. And I think these guys that you'll just turn around and put them all in different spots, because I think that's kind of like, because I would play Tavale at number 8 or blindside. Even Mina, I'd put Mina, I can't remember his last name, but he was playing blindside, Tafo or something like that, or Tafo, he was playing blindside, I'll put him at open side. I'll probably put Jagger back at number 6 and have maybe Sean Butler play at hooker. Keep him in the game, but keep him tight, maybe move him to the front row, even though he's small, he's still high work rate, Hawaii, I'd move up into I'd move him to the front row and just tell him, bro, it's like, hey, or move, Hawaii up into the front row, make him a hooker, have a big front row, still mobile because Hawaii's there, and make them and switch them around a bit, But that forward pack is pretty good. Like I don't think they're bad. And Munro at centre, who Fusitua, who played a real mean game. Ele Esse was his last name. Let me see where it's, because Lucas I know was at fullback, and Lucas I remember I think he was there last year too. But Luke, he was just so good. He was playing last year, like Lucas on Saturday, he was so good at fullback. And then him coming in, like injecting himself into that line, was just massive the way he did it, and just the way that he, would continue to play on. Leticia would like make these small little like juke moves, and then just have this little offload coming, and then Lucas was always there, or Munro was like taking it too, and then even like Ben Brooks, who was on the wing, like did his part too, and just like did his part from giving these, either like hugging the line, giving them some space to work, and he just pulled his defender, or he was out there waiting for the ball, just waiting for his time. And which wingers, that's kind of what you do. Like to me, wingers like a boring position. I don't know why anyone would want to play winger, but to me it's just a boring position. But when you've got a winger who's solid and knows what he's doing, like Ben Brooks does, he's so valuable as well, because he just makes it easy. He just makes it easier. It gives you the space that you need, and just puts himself in there when he needs to come in, all that kind of stuff. Anyways, that was just one of the things I was looking at when I was watching, that game. Got way too close. I thought Whangarei should have probably ran away with it early, but Massey just fought back, and through those kind of guys, even Cameron and Jordan at 9 and 10. Jordan's young too, I think. Is he year 11? I can't remember what year he's in, but I think Jordan did the right thing in just passing the ball on. Sometimes some first fives, they get stuck because they got this fantasy of being the first five. It's like, no, I'm the first five, I should just do and create everything. Sometimes it's just better just to pass the ball on. To me, Jordan did that. Jordan kicked when he needed to kick, and just let the ball go through, let Leticia take care of it, Munro and Lucas run that, and then him just getting the ball out of your hands fast gives them more time to make it work, which is great for a first five who could just do that, and he just knows where the value of his team goes. And then when he needs to inject themselves into putting kicks down the field, and he makes it right, which Jordan was doing, to me that's successful. I think he did a great job. After that, I went to just down the road. I made sure that I kept my games close, and so I just went down the road to Liston College. Whose program from year to year has gotten so much better every single year. And then what I like about it too is that they didn't just make the 1A and then sort of stop. They made the 1A, and then all their players as a whole progressively got better together as a rugby department, I guess you could say. Because the under 14s are doing well, the under 15s are doing well, 16s, second 15s, all those kind of things. All their teams are doing better and better, and then the player quality that you see go to the first 15, you know that they've been working hard from all those other grades. So whatever they're doing at Liston College for their rugby program, they're doing great. They're doing the right moves, the right things to do, and beating Mags yesterday was on Saturday was like a big thing. You know, and even when I went to the game, I wasn't quite sure who I thought was going to win, because I thought they were kind of even, which they were. I mean, the score showed that they were pretty much an even side. And I kind of feel for Noah Gregory, because I like him a lot as a player. But Mags just didn't have that go forward apart from him, in my opinion. And I don't know, and it's hard. For me, it's hard to watch Mags. Like I'm obviously, if you've been following my page, a lot of you know this anyway. But when we returned from the islands back in '96, the idea was that we were I guess we were supposed to go to Mags, because my dad was an old Mags boy, and he played first 15, and he played cricket for Mags too. And I think that was the idea, that we were going to move back to Auckland. We were before, and they were supposed to be going to Mags. And so my dad is he's a proud Mags boy. But every time I come back and he goes, "Son, who won?" And I was like, he'll go, "Son, Mags won this week." I was like, how's my Mags team doing? I was like, "Well, Dad, you guys have some national championships, in the past. That's great." But the direction of it, the last couple of years, kind of the opposite of what Liston is doing. No, it's not like, they are I guess a sports academy. I think they call themselves a sports academy, because they got a great netball program, they got a really good soccer program, hockey, and basketball, of course, with the boys and girls league team. But in my mind, I think if you're going to call yourself a sports academy, you would want to be great at rugby, which is like the most popular sport in New Zealand. And I just wasn't seeing it, I just wasn't seeing it on Saturday. I wasn't seeing it with how I thought that they should have went, because Mags as a whole, the team, and I guess you can't really fault, because they should have enough players. The players that they have there should be enough. It should be, I guess, in the catchment, they've got enough players. I can't really put my finger on what it, on what it is. All I know is that every time I watch, Noah Gregory is the standout. Lata Tongia, halfback, is another good player that I really, really like. But to me, Noah's the main guy. Zachary Tolopapa is the other one that I really like as well, and who I think has been, even from the beginning, I remember seeing him even against Hamilton Boys when I saw them before. Zachary was like a standout to me, but something's not right in that team. And it's hard to put my finger on kind of where it is. I mean, one thing I didn't like, and this is one thing I didn't like. I didn't like that Terence Yoriko didn't get much ball. I didn't like that he, as a player that was there last year, but he's been there since year 11, I think. I was annoyed that he didn't get much ball. And he wasn't getting much touches, and he wasn't... They didn't make him an important part of their attack. Amanaki's kind of the same, but and getting Liam Ngasu in there as well, but I think Liam kind of went off because there was a jumper where he got hit in the head, like that kind of stuff. But you would think, and I would put it down to someone that I would want Terence to touch the ball a lot more times than what he did, and not touch the ball in terms of like just the count of how many times the ball goes through his hands, but giving him sort of that responsibility to make something out of this play, to make a difference in this game, where I don't think that he was given that opportunity to do so. And him and Amanaki in the midfield was disappointing, but it wasn't disappointing because to me it's not their fault. That was one thing I didn't really like. I wanted to see more of DJ Bukina, who, because he was on the bench. Yeah, I don't know what it is with Mags. I don't know. Liston played great though. Like I don't think we should, we're not going to take the win away from them because they were great. Like they had a solid team. Aaron Dillon at hooker was a guy that I really liked. Tyler Gear was the other guy, the lock. I thought he had a massive game. Jacob Tavanga as well. That open side Mitchell. I thought he was good. Sione was good as well at number 8. I thought he had a strong game. Ussel was solid as well. I like the fact that they have William, their number 10, play more like a second 5 than anything else. And even that Jonathan Samoti, I think his name was, putting up those big massive high kicks. Keanu is again, like I think Keanu Hughes, maybe I would like to see him get a lot more ball and a lot more opportunity to make moves and make some plays. But I mean, even Giovanni coming up into the line from fullback was also a pretty cool thing to watch too, because I was able to see how that backline moves and getting them into the mix. Titali was another one. Conrad played great. Conrad kicked good. I thought he was a solid kicker on the day. But yeah, I really liked the flow of that team and how they were playing. But they deserve that win. 100% they deserve that win. And I kind of feel like if it didn't rain, I think it was Mags was kind of lucky that Liston didn't put another 2 tries on them, because it kind of looked that way. The momentum was that strong that one way that they were looking at one. Like even Albert and Tuakoi, the two props, man, both of them two just, they play some long minutes too, smashing it all day, long minutes. Jed was another one at the other lock, along with Tyler. Jed, you know, he one of those guys that you don't really see much, but then you kind of like realize what he's doing. Like when I watch it back on my clips that I have, and I take it to the game, and just watching Jed go to work and just do his thing, and you know, it's not out of the, you know, out in the open him doing it. It's like when you watch the replay back and you realize how much work he gets into. Real cool to see. Jacob, I wish had a bit more runs. Jacob Tavana, I think I wish he had a bit more runs, but yeah, I thought Mitchell had a massive game, and Liston really deserved that one. But yeah, Maggie's got to do something. That alumni can't be too happy. But yeah, good solid games throughout the week. Again, I've talked too long, sorry about that, but I'm going to keep this an hour because I think an hour of listening to me, going through my thoughts, go through all that kind of stuff that happens, a bit too long, but I'll get through all the games this week. Still haven't even watched even half of them, but I haven't chosen my games for next week, but I'll probably be up in Auckland again. I really want to see Rosmini, I really want to see Rongi Turtle, I really want to see Southern Cross Campus, I want to see them play. Puketaga is another one I really want to say. I want to see Pukekohe is like another game I want to watch, another team that I really want to watch. Aodere and Tangaroa, I've been watching them from films. I've seen them from films. I've seen all these school from films. Puke is probably the only one I haven't. I've seen only one film with them, so I need to see more of that. Seen a lot of highlights though. Seen a lot of highlights of a lot of schools. But yeah. Anyways, love you all. Herschel High School Top 200. Later, ball.